Here's a new one for me, the Magnatone. I know they've been around a long time. I've just never worked on one before. This particular model is the Typhoon. I just finished working on another one. It was the Zephyr model. I guess they were made in California for about 40 years, and of course they're Magnatone amplifiers. The thing that I find particularly interesting about this guitar is the bridge design. The 6 saddle pieces are mounted in this one piece of steel. I'm not sure what kind. And then that sits in this little pocket like that, and it moves back and forth, I think a little more freely than it should, because the string tension doesn't seem to be enough to hold it very securely. But that all sits down there, and then to raise or lower the bridge, you adjust these 4 screws. Either bring them up or screw them farther in to change the action. And then of course each of the saddle pieces has a screw fitting. You can see that. The screw head is there, so you can move those back and forth to fix the intonation. But very interesting, different kind of design from what I'm accustomed to with solid body guitars, so I just thought I would share it. The action is really high on this guitar, and the screws are all the way down, so I'm going to have to remove the bolt-on neck and change the pitch of the neck a little bit to try to bring the action down as low as I can get it. Here are the 4 screws to hold the neck in place. So after I bring down the action, or after I increase the neck angle, I'll see where I am with it. Okay. Oh, I see. So there's a set screw in the middle here that pushes up on this little steel plate and changes the angle of the neck. So I guess I didn't really have to take the screws off completely. I could have just loosened them a little bit. Pretty clever design. So there's the screw. There's the fitting in there. And obviously the steel plate. I really couldn't see into that hole to figure out what the fitting was for doing the height adjustment. I tried a bunch of different sizes of hex wrenches and nothing seemed to work. Turned out that a small straight bladed screwdriver was the answer. So I gave it about a half a turn clockwise, and now the strings are a little too low. They're not horrible, but I'm getting a lot of buzzes, and actually the base E is only at 1/8 of an inch. I'd like to get it up another 64th. So I'm going to go to these screws and raise them until I can measure 5/64ths on the bass string at the 12th fret. Interesting thing, the way this bridge moves back and forth like this, if it's back this way, the strings don't stop on the saddle pieces, they stop on the front edge of the bridge, which is not good. I mean, you have no intonation that way, of course. So you have to make sure that the bridge is at least level with the surface of the guitar body, or even pitched forward a little bit. Then there's plenty of clearance of the string at the front of the bridge. Hopefully that shows. But if it's back like this, then no. So, like I mentioned earlier, the string tension doesn't really hold this in place very well. It seems like a real, I don't know, unstable design. But apparently it was successful. I mean, they made these guitars a long time, and near as I can tell, they all had this same bridge. So I'm raising the screws a little bit. Then I'm going to check my string height. Well, that didn't really do it. I'm still at just about 4/64ths. So I need to go higher. Now let me see where I am. Yeah, it's just about right. And the bass, the treble side has to come up quite a bit too. So raise these screws some more. I already leveled and dressed these frets too. So now I've got the strings just about where I want them, and I can start checking the intonation. It certainly looks like one of these saddle pieces is way out of whack. You know, these are mostly pretty far back, but then the D string, it's quite forward, so I suspect the intonation is not perfect on this guitar, so I'm going to try to get it better anyway. Intonation seems pretty good now. I couldn't adjust a few of these barrels as far back as they needed to go, so I had to tip the whole bridge backward a little bit. Yeah, it's an interesting design, this Magnatone bridge. Not sure it's ever going to be one of my favorites. I don't like the fact that you can't adjust the height of the strings individually. If you sight along the arc of the strings, the B is really pretty far out of whack with the others. It's way higher than the other 5 strings, if those 5 strings are in an arc. But there's nothing I can do about that, and apparently it's been accepted. So anyway, just thought I would share this new kind of a guitar, just since I had never seen one before. And thanks for watching.